Kiki, Hermetic Kitten, and this is a crafty ASMR video. This is going to be a long session, so I hope you don't mind if I keep you company for a bit. I love creativity and crafty hobbies, so I want to show you this wonderful technique I discovered, or better, I was introduced to approximately a month ago. And with this technique you can create scarves, you can create hats, socks, blankets, and even sweaters. I don't feel like I am an expert yet, but I am totally and utterly fascinated by the idea of creating my own clothes. So grab yourself a cup of herbal tea or coffee or any warm beverage that you fancy, maybe a snack, and you can follow the process as I whisper and talk in a soft spoken manner for your relaxation. So, this instrument I'm using is a knitting loom. A knitting loom is something I honestly had never seen before, but apparently it's a thing. You can find it in stores that sell yarn and all sorts of sewing materials, cloths, and so forth. There are various sizes of knitting looms. What I bought was a set, and there's a circular loom and a straight loom. I have multiple sizes depending on how big of a scarf you want, or if you want to create a bag, for example, you might want to use a bigger one. It really depends on your project. So before starting with the knitting loom, I used to crochet, but my problem is that I am very bad at counting, and so my creations were a little bit imprecise, I feel, and I wasn't 100% satisfied. But with a knitting loom, there's no problem whatsoever, because everything you make will be very precise and it will look as though you bought it in a store, I promise. So what I did, I usually go to this very nice department store, I guess. It's a local store that sells a bit of everything for affordable prices, and they're mainly products from the Netherlands, and they have a lot of yarn. I bought some cloud yarn with a gradient effect, so this scarf is going to be a sort of unicorn scarf. But of course you can choose all sorts of colors that you like. You can even mix two strands of yarn and make a nice mixed effect. What you choose is totally up to you. So what you do is essentially creating a series of knots, and there are multiple patterns that you can use. I'm using this 8 infinite 1, I don't know how to call it. It's a ribbon pattern, and then with a hook you move the thread over, one of the threads over, you will see as I progress. It's very easy. In this particular session I was using a plastic needle, but every set comes with a hook. Not a hook, a sort of steel needle, and it's it's way easier with that. I don't know why I was using the plastic one. I didn't want to pinch myself. By the way, this is the first scarf I have made with this technique. And there's a whole process to close your work, but since I'm not mastering it yet, I'll show it in a future session. So, when I started this, I was feeling so relaxed, even watching tutorials online, not necessarily ASMR, just normal tutorials, that I thought I need to film this, you know. It's so perfect for ASMR. I really believe that this kind of activities, knitting, sewing, are first of all meditative activities, very meditation-like. You need to get in the zone. You cannot focus on anything else, especially with crochet. You have to count. That's what I was bad at. But with the knitting loom, you can also have a feeling that you're progressing. It's hard to explain. I'm going to try and do so. So I was discussing this with a friend, and I thought, why is this so relaxing? And we thought that perhaps it's because human beings have an urge to create, and with the knitting loom and with the crochet you can instantly see your progress and you get that sort of satisfaction. Knitting also made me realize that in life, whenever you commit to doing something, for example a scarf, knitting a scarf, if you only think about the goal, so finishing the scarf, you're going to be very frustrated as you make it. Because if you expect an instant result, the whole process of making it will be very hard. Vice versa, if you enjoy making it and you're not constantly thinking about finishing it, then you will get much more satisfaction. You will be truly happy because you're already happy in the process of doing it. So you're not making a scarf just to have the scarf, you're making it because you enjoy making it, if that makes sense. And I believe this applies to other spheres of life. To every sphere, actually. It is important to keep your goals in mind. But if you don't enjoy the process, that is not perhaps your path, you know. If you do what you love, you won't even feel the work. You will enjoy it. And this is one of the many lessons that this activity teaches you. I also remember that when I first found out about the ASMR community, I thought that ASMR was all about these triggers and the whispering, and I didn't really make the connection between ASMR and daily life, really. I didn't understand that many of the activities that we do in our society to relax pretty much are the themselves ASMR. I think not everyone who knits does it for relaxation, but I also think that many people find it comforting and somehow relieving to focus their attention on something that ends up being very useful. It's a very, very meditative process, as I said. You can allow your mind to wander around, or you can just focus on what you're doing. Either way, I think the biggest satisfaction is what I said before. Just knowing that you're making something out of scratch, you're making it yourself. And to see that big ball of yarn becoming smaller and smaller and giving it a meaning. In that sense, I believe it can be a very anxiety relieving activity, actually. Anxiety relieving in a sense that the big ball of yarn could be your concerns or your expectations or all the things you have to do, and you are taking the yarn little by little and you are shaping it, you're giving it meaning, you are giving it a solid direction. I think that's very powerful. And little by little, one step at a time, gradually the yarn becomes smaller and smaller, and your scarf or whatever you're making starts taking place, starts taking shape more, rather. And I think that's really satisfying. It is a very satisfying technique. And from time to time you can stop and just appreciate the colors, the very precise pattern, and just admire your work. My dream is to learn how to make a sweater. I know that with a circular loom, if you know the size and everything, it is possible to make sweaters. Nevertheless, I still have a long way to go. I still want to master the scarves making skills, and then I will perhaps try with a hat and socks, and maybe a bag, and then a sweater. It is nice to find or discover activities that take your mind off things, and at the same time you know you're making something useful. When I finished this scarf, this particular one, I wore it all day long. I went out with it and it was so warm, warmer than all the other scarves I've got. And I was so proud to have made it, proud to wear it. The colors are just beautiful. And that's the beauty of it. You just choose your favorite colors. And if you need to choose a gift for a friend, a loved one, family member, you can do it yourself. And yeah, someone suggested that I should make a few more and maybe sell them. I don't know why. I don't feel like I'm an expert yet, and it takes a long time for me to make even just one. But I do understand that that would be so cool, way better than any merch available on the internet. Something handmade, with care, with love. And I was daydreaming about creating these beautiful boxes with like lavender essential oil, so that the fragrance would go on the scarf as well, or maybe pour some essential oil on the yarn before knitting the scarf. And maybe I had this weird idea of focusing on specific thoughts as I was knitting. For example, focus on love or on friendship or on like positive thoughts, and make this like positive scarves. And I would put them in these beautiful boxes with matching paper, like crinkly paper and lavender scent, or just floral fragrances and little bags with dried plants, and then wrap it ever so carefully, maybe adding like a special tag, and that would be a special hermetic scarf. And oh my, I daydream about this sort of things. Maybe one day, when I'm faster and better at this, I will do it. And you can have a scarf made by me, or maybe you can make one yourself. You can get yourself a knitting loom and knit away. And bless your friends with these beautiful things made with all your love and care. And get tingles as you make it. Because ASMR is really everywhere, isn't it? I notice more and more that there are two ways of experiencing ASMR. The online way and the offline way. The online way is the digital ASMR. Sounds, binaural experiences. It relies on technology, on sophisticated microphones. The offline way of experiencing ASMR is the more casual, natural way of getting tingles in your daily life. Of course, role plays sort of reproduce those daily situations in which you would experience tingles, or create new universes, but I think there is certainly a lot to explore in our daily life that is ASMR, but is not necessarily ASMR alone, if you know what I mean. A walk in the woods can both be a nice physical exercise, but it can also be a sensory meditation, a walking meditation. And in that sense, ASMR is a lifestyle more than anything else. It is a way of appreciating certain aspects of reality, really. You can be mindful when you walk, when you eat. Imagine a nice dinner. You can focus on the smells, the presentation, the sound of the cooking and the eating process. And it can really be a sensory experience as well. Same thing for art, for reading, actually. I've been reading lots, and I remarked that I get distracted very easily, and the capacity to get your focus back to the story is in itself a powerful meditation. It is also an attention or a focusing exercise. It is okay for our mind to wander around as long as we gently guide it back to the center of our project. So as you can see, as I knit with the knitting loom, a lot of thoughts cross my mind, and I'm certain that a lot of thoughts will cross yours too. I really hope you like this idea and that you find it cool. I don't know why young people nowadays don't seem to be very interested, at least as far as I can tell, in activities that they might perceive as old-fashioned or unnecessary, such as knitting, creating, or designing your own clothes. It is not easy, probably, and it's time-consuming. But it is to me a very cool thing to do, and I wish I had learned that in school. Back in the day, when our grandmas were going to school and they were little, and even our parents probably, sewing and knitting was taught in school, and it was an important part, actually. Emphasis was placed on knowing how to repair stuff, how to mend your clothes, how to, make simple things. And then I guess, as the clothing industry became more, I don't know, a lot faster perhaps, and now the prices are very cheap. People don't want to mend broken things. They probably just throw a t-shirt away and they get a new one. They don't want to knit a scarf, they just want to buy one, and once it gets old you throw it, you get a new one. I'm not saying this is not right, I'm just wondering why creating your own things is not as popular. And I believe it is a product of our fast, quick and chaotic way of living nowadays. We don't have time, and we don't want to make time. But then if you stop and think, if you make something patiently, with nice materials, it will last longer, and you will have the satisfaction that you did it yourself. So maybe in the next session I'll show you some yarn I got. I made a very nice scarf with alpaca and wool and a mix of different fabrics, and it's so soft and it's lilac, really pretty. But yeah, you can pretty much go to the store and choose the best materials for your scarf and the best colors. You can design it as you like it, and you will have a piece of unique apparel, something that nobody else will have exactly the same because you made it yourself. Next time I'll try to maybe add some cat paws or cat decorations to the scarves. haven't seen a video like this around, and I really hope that you will like it and you will want to see more. It is nothing but a pleasure to film the process because, sometimes I'm just knitting and I think, I should record this. This is too precious to be wasted. And I was a bit unsure if I wanted to share it or not, because I thought maybe it's not that interesting, or maybe it will seem a bit odd, but I don't mind. I don't know if you're like me, but I really think sometimes I was born in the wrong century. I seem to enjoy old-fashioned things. I write longhand every single day. I don't like writing at the computer. And I like going for long walks in nature. I like old-fashioned styles of crafting things. I like old books, and I get drunk with the smell of them. Who said that he could get drunk with the smell of an old book? Ah, yes, it was the Russian novelist and poet Ivan Bunin. He won the Nobel Prize. He used to say all the time that he would, all the time, I just read that, but he said that it was possible for him to get drunk with the smell of an old book, and I totally relate to that. Ivan Bunin has some of the most exquisite examples of lyrical narrations, beautiful descriptions of nature, very sensory dense. So if you haven't read him, I really recommend his writings. And yeah, I just sometimes feel like I belong to another century. And I know I'm not the only one. I know many people feel the same way. And I think that's fascinating. And another thing I love about ASMR is the fact that it allows to connect with all sorts of wonderful individuals and old souls all over the globe. I know that many of you are going to listen to this video and watch this video are going to relate to my words, and that is something that matters to me so much. It's a connection so precious that I cannot put it into words. You have no idea how happy I am about making this video. I truly hope you enjoyed it, and I truly hope it relaxed you, and that it was maybe interesting, comforting. I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for being so special. Alright, do not hesitate to tell me if you like this technique, if you like the result, and if you wish to see more. Thank you, and I wish you a blissful night, and talk to you soon.